Here at the lovely entertainment venue Parken in Denmark, we're meeting Mr. Paul Young, and a very good evening to you, Paul.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
And so nice to meet you. It's the first time.
Thank you.
And Paul, if you just would like to explain for our good audience, how is it to be on stage tonight here at the Charlie in Parken?
It's very nice because I'm just kind of getting back onto the circuit again. The early part of the year I was in studios a lot, January and February, and so this is me getting back on stage again, and it's really nice to be back.
And you're telling us that you've been in the studio. Is that because of a new CD that's just come out, or is it coming out, or
it's come out in the UK, and hopefully there's a release date here. I know there is in Germany, Australia, so I'm sure there'll be a release to follow here.
And how has it been to do this new CD? Maybe you could explain a little bit about the style. Is it some like in the old days, or?
Yeah, I worked with Arthur Baker, who was a hip hop producer from the 80s, 90s, and Arthur's he's kind of a friend of mine, and he contacted me and he said about why don't we do an album where we take an artist back to the material that they were influenced by. So he said, so let's take you, and we would put you with the songs from the Stax and High Records publishing house. So that's what we did. We went through our record collections, really, just playing and listening to loads of stuff and choosing some songs, not obvious songs. So instead of doing Sitting on the Dock of the Bay and or In the Midnight Hour, we wanted to find songs. We had to dig a little bit deeper, to find the material.
And how has it been recognised by the English audience? Have you released some singles that the DJs has been?
The single has got some play over the last couple of weeks. The album has just come out on last Friday, and the initial reviews are very good.
Brilliant.
Which is great because it's kind of me going back to my roots.
Yeah.
The problem I had was trying to work out what a Paul Young album was, because in the 80s, every time I released an album, there was a lot of diverse material. Every time you go away was Daryl Hall, Soldiers Things was Tom Waits, Tear Your Playhouse Down was Ann Peebles. So it came from lots of different areas, and that made it very difficult for me to understand what a Paul Young album should be now. So I thought, well, maybe it's a good idea to go back to my roots and do some nice R&B songs that I feel comfortable with, and use that as a launch to then make my next album.
And talking about when you're telling us about the hits back from the days, tonight it was really a parade for your biggest hits. How was that to just be by the TV station be told? Because I spoke to the guy that organised this the other day, and he said everyone will be playing all their hits. How was it for you to only be limited by only playing the hits?
Well, I mean, I have to do those songs anyway. Even when I do any Paul Young concert, I still do those songs. So they did let me put one new song in there, and like I say, because it's my first kind of Paul Young concert this year, it was great to do them again.
And this venue must be a bit special for you, and also the whole thing, because there's only Danish artists otherwise. Do you know some of the other big artists that came here today?
I don't really, although as I'm listening to this band on, I think I've heard this song on the radio when I've been in
Johnny
Denmark.
Deluxe is in the background, we can tell the listeners they're called. But your band here in Copenhagen, I understood something about it's Danish musicians you've got here. Maybe tell us a little bit about that.
I've been using these Danish musicians for at least 5 years, maybe longer. I came over here to do some concerts. And these days you have to be very careful with the budget, so rather than me bringing English musicians over, they said, why don't you come and play with us? And they showed me some links on YouTube, and I watched and thought, no, they're very good musicians. So then I came and did maybe half a dozen concerts, and I was so impressed with them that I decided to use them for all my future dates.
Fantastic.
The quality of musicians in Scandinavia is not just good from a musical point of view, but also from a technical point of view. They're really good with technique, they're really good with technology, but they're also very well practiced in real playing, good solid playing.
And what about the coming summer? Do you have a lot of tour dates there around the world, or how is it going on for you?
We do, yeah. Because this album has just come out, I'm doing about 20 concerts in the UK. Then I can see towards the end of the year we're adding some concerts in Holland, and there's a possibility of me going to Tel Aviv with Zucchero as a special guest.
Okay. Wow.
So there's a few German shows that are going in. So it would be really nice to be able to add some here.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I'd love that. So we come and see you here in Denmark.
Yeah.
And speaking of Zucchero, I heard you sang the song down there, Since Una Donna. Excuse me, my Italian, but
no, it's not bad.
Okay, thank you. And then how's the story behind that song? Because I actually saw Zucchero sing it by himself back in, I think it was 2006 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
And now it's you going on with it also alone.
Well, initially he did do it on his own on an album called Blues, and when I met Zucchero, he said he wants to start to sing in English, and he said to me, and I'd like to do a song with you as a duet. He said, is there any of my songs you like? And I said, I like Sense Una Donna. He said, this was my choice also. So we both agreed it was the perfect song for both of us.
Just before we go, Paul, just let us know the title of your new CD again, so maybe our DJs could buy it on some download thing from England or something like that.
Sure, it's called Good Thing.
Good Thing, straight away. Okay. And they can go to your... Do you have a website or something?
There's paul-young.com, and there's also a Facebook page, and they should be able to find it on Spotify as well.
Paul, I want to say absolute pleasure to meet you, and I want to wish you a wonderful night and best of luck with the new CD.
Thank you very much. The pleasure.